Hello everyone. Today we are studying the optic or the visual pathway. The optic pathway is an intricate system that enables us to see and perceive the world around us. As you can see, I have already drawn few shapes. Let's get started with the rectangles. These rectangle represents the visual field for our eyes. Let's divide them into the nasal half and the temporal half of the visual field. Now let's say the circle represent your eyes. The left circle represent your left eye, while the right circle represents your right eye. Now these dotted lines that I'm drawing, these dotted lines show the image formed on the temporal half of the visual field and on the nasal half of the visual field. So our eyes have two fibers, the temporal fibers and the nasal fibers. I'm using red color to draw the nasal fibers first of both the eyes. So these nasal fibers from each eye will decussate to the other part of the brain while traveling back. And these temporal fibers, the orange ones, they travel ipsilaterally all the way to the higher centers. These rhomboids represent the lateral geniculate body present in the thalamus of the brain. So when these fibers reach here, they synapse with another neurons which will further carry the information into the brain. So these fibers, we call them the third order neuron, and they take the information from thalamus to the cortex. So this visual pathway can be viewed on the ventral surface of the brain. And our ventral part of the brain is concerned with the vision. The centers for vision are located in the occipital lobe of the brain. So now let's label this diagram for better understanding. So this crossover, where the nasal fibers are crossing over, is known as optic chiasm. And these rhomboid shapes are the lateral geniculate body. So this lateral geniculate body of the thalamus, they are present in the thalamus. Now as these fibers leave the eye, they form the optic nerve before the optic chiasm. After that, these fibers together, they form the optic tract. Leaving the geniculate body, these neurons are known as optic radiation, or because they're generating from geniculate body, they are known as geniculocalcarine tract. Or they're originating from thalamus and going all the way to the cortex, they are known as thalamocortical tracts. So this is your cortex, Broadsman area number 17. This pathway is perceived by the primary visual area of the occipital lobe. Let's write down the red represents the nasal fibers. This is just for you to remember. The orange are the temporal fibers. These fibers work opposite to their name while they depict the image. So what I'm saying is the nasal fibers will perceive the image formed on the temporal half of the visual field. And the temporal fibers will perceive the image formed on the nasal half of the visual field. So this is your visual pathway, all complete from the light falling on the retina to the primary visual area. Let's draw a flowchart of this very quickly. So the light falls on photoreceptors, the rods and the cones. Rods are responsible for the escotopic vision and helps us to adjust in the low light conditions, while cones are for the photopic vision and help us to adjust in the bright light or the daytime light. A very basic flowchart of the visual pathway is almost complete. So it's here. And in the next video, we will be studying about the visual defects occurring due to any damage or injury in the visual pathway. So stay tuned for the next video.